thanks so much for tuning into this video. I am Jay Theo, and today we're going to be discussing a topic that's been buzzing around all over social media the last few months, love bombing. And you know I had to put my black gay spin on it. While the term love bombing gets tossed around pretty frequently these days, at the end of the day it is a tool for abuse, and I think we should be well aware of how it shows up in our relationships so we can avoid it. So today I want to discuss what love bombing is, how to peep it, how to avoid it, us being black gay men and the vulnerability and the trauma that we deal with, how that can be a catalyst for us dealing with love bombing time and time again. And you thought it was just romantic partners? Family and friends can love bomb you too. So what is love bombing exactly? Let's read the definition. According to the Cleveland Clinic, love bombing is a form of psychological and emotional abuse that involves a person going above and beyond for you in an effort to manipulate you into a relationship. It can look different from person to person, but it usually involves excessive flattery, praise, over-communication of someone's feelings, how they feel about you, showering you with unneeded and unwanted attention and gifts, and early and intense talks about your future together. So if that's love bombing, I'm sure you guys are wondering, what does real, genuine love look like? First off, real love moves more slowly and it builds. And as my favorite late author Bell Hooks says in the book All About Love, which I think everybody should read. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and it changed my whole thought process about love when it comes to family, friends, relationships, all of the above. All About Love, y'all. Pick it up, read it, I recommend it. But in the book, she describes love as, let me read it to you guys. Love is as love does. Love is an act of will, both in intention and in action. In a nutshell, love is shown through consistent actions, not through empty words and shallow affection. And according to ChoosingTherapy.com, genuine love is typically less intense in the beginning and stays consistent throughout. I read a statement in an article. Think of a simmering fire versus a raging wildfire. Think of like a slow simmering fire versus a raging wildfire. You want the slow simmering fire. Look how crazy a raging wildfire can get. We don't want that. That is love bombing. So I'm sure you guys are like, what are the signs of love bombing? But before we get to that, I do want to discuss my thoughts on being a black gay man and how our vulnerability and trauma can play into our acceptance of being love bombed, like I said, time and time again. I really do think, as black gay men and gay men in general, I do think love bombing can be a pretty common occurrence for the start of our relationships. First off, as men in general tend to look at love as a very transactional type of engagement. And it's usually based on that what can you bring to the table complex. And that usually involves gift, money, and labor. And often physical touches is wrapped in some of that as well, which can honestly be viewed sometimes as labor when it comes to our relationships. I also think with delayed adolescence that is experienced heavily in the gay community and even heavier in the black gay community, where we, when we're younger, didn't really experience as much dating because we were in the closet, we weren't out yet, that when we are finally experiencing love for the first time, we want to jump all into it because we are so inexperienced. Also, about 50% of black LGBT people have at least one strained relationship with their parent or even both. And when you didn't get that love from a parent the way that you felt like you deserved, the first time you're starting to fall deep into romantic connections, you're gonna fall deep and heavy and you're gonna be lusting after that love. And I think that creates such a catalyst for you to be someone who accepts or someone who unconsciously love bombs. The thing though, this can be very, very dangerous, especially when two men are at play. And I've experienced this in a subtle way, and I've had friends who have experienced this in a really, really bad ways. And the reason is love bombing can lead to possessiveness and ownership very, very quickly. And when someone thinks they possess you or they own you, they can then become violent, they become verbally abusive, and these things can lead to not only you being hurt, but it can lead to jail time, it can lead to even your death. So we have to be conscious of the fact that love bombing, when it's this very intense love, first off, it can lead to very extreme consequences, physical abuse, even death, and we have to be conscious of the possessiveness that happens with love bombing. And I've seen it time and time again in black gay relationships, how people get into these relationships super quickly, they become very possessive super quickly, very jealous really quickly, and it can lead to so many issues very, very quickly. And I want our community to be in tune with this because, as I said, we are a more vulnerable community. I also think we have to think about this when we are dating older, we are dating younger. I think a lot of young men can be groomed unconsciously because they are being love bombed. Somebody has all this money, they grew up without money, or they're a lot younger, and this older man is providing money, gifting them things, making them feel special, when in reality they're grooming them, or they're using these objects and material things as money to wrap them into this relationship. And same thing goes for somebody who's younger with somebody older. Somebody who's older who's never really had that love that they wanted, and somebody younger who could take advantage of them is gonna love bomb them and tell them they love them and they want to be with them so that this person can shower them with gifts and shower them with money. But at the end of the day, they really don't want them. They just want what they could offer them from a material standpoint or a place to stay or things like that. So I think this can manifest in a lot of different ways, especially in the gay community and especially in the black gay community. And I just want us to be conscious of that, because it can get real bad real quick when somebody's love bombing you, when that possessiveness and when that ownership comes into play, or when there's an age dynamic or a financial gap. That can be very, very toxic and very, very dangerous and very, very abusive. Okay, so on to the signs of how do you know if you're being love bombed? Well, first off, love bombing comes in 3 to 4 phases. So the first phase is the idolization phase. This is the early beginning stages where it's like lusty and gumdrops and rainbows, and they make you feel so special, and they're telling you all the things you want to hear. And this is how they draw you into the hype. This is how they get your ass. If it feels too good to be true, y'all, it probably is. And studies show that the falling in love butterfly effect releases the feel-good hormones like serotonin, oxytocin, and dopamine. And these are the same hormones that are released where you're dealing with like recreational drugs and fast food. So it can be addicting. So you have to be careful with these feelings. So next step is the devaluation phase. So after the initial rush of lust and happiness begins and you start to get more comfortable, that's when things start to pop up. You start to notice those red flags, and those true signs start to appear. They start to be more critical of you. They start to have more demands of you. They start trying to control your time. They start isolating you from your family and friends, and they gaslight you for feeling bad for not accepting their bad behavior. And next up is the discard phase, y'all. Ooh, this is the phase that really gets y'all. This is when they basically throw you away. So when you start confronting them about their behavior, or when you really want to start discussing your expectations and resetting your boundaries, then they basically drop your ass. This is top tier narcissist behavior. They may even ghost you, like totally just go ghost on you. And this dramatic and chaotic into your relationship will usually leave you confused, disoriented, sad, and hurt. It really may affect your mental health if you really felt like this was something special and it's so good to be true, and I've never had this love before, and what they're showing me, this really could hurt you a lot. But wait, y'all, there's more. That may not be the last phase. The final phase is called hoovering, and it's exactly how it sounds. This phase really highlights the level of toxicity and narcissism that this person you were dating has. After the end of the relationship, they check in on you and make sure you're okay and find ways to creep back in, and then ultimately suck you back in, hoover you back into the relationship, and that's when the love bombing starts all over again, and you start to form this toxic relationship. So now that we have the phases out of the way, I want to discuss 10 signs that you should look out for to see if you're being love bombed. And I've experienced most of these myself, so I know how they feel. So I definitely want you guys thinking about these things as you're dating someone, and if they are happening, to make sure you call them out, confront them, and be honest about your feelings. Do not let your feelings go by the wayside, and if someone doesn't want to acknowledge your feelings, that then and there is a clear sign that you're being love bombed or that they're not the person for you. Okay, so I've experienced this one a lot, is information and trauma dumping. So when somebody's just giving you very intense, detailed information about them very quickly, like kind of like oversharing, but just all the time, and especially trauma dumping. And this is something I experienced as a black gay man a lot with other black gay men. They tend to trauma dump. I've been on first dates, first couple times hooking up, and somebody trauma dumps about so many things in their life and while they're looking for a partner and all the things they've been through and this pity party. And it makes you feel bad, and it makes you like really concerned for them. But be careful of that. Trauma dumping, be careful of that. Nobody should be trauma dumping on you the first few times they're meeting you, and they shouldn't be putting all this weight on you to then have to hold on to this for the relationship. Also, if they're asking you a lot of information about you, if the first few times they're meeting you, they're asking for you to divulge all this intense information, if they're asking you to divulge all your trauma, if they're asking all this specific information about where you work, what do you do, how long have you lived, like just very, very detailed. Maybe not where you work, what do you do, but you guys know what I'm saying. Just very detailed, specific information very quickly about you, about your life, about your past life, about your family, about your trauma. This could be a clear sign of initial love bombing. So this one has happened to me as well. So the pressure to future plan or to commit really soon, if they're, a couple dates in, like, I really just think you're the one. I really think that we should be boyfriends, or I really think that we should be together. That is a clear sign. Or if they're just like, man, I really could see myself marrying you. I really could see myself having kids with you. I really could see myself moving to a new city with you or moving in together. This is something that happens a lot in our community, is U-hauling, where couples move in together very, very quickly. And this is a clear sign of love bombing. It's a clear sign usually that someone needs you for have a place to live, or they need to use you for resources. So this is a very clear sign. Watch out for this one. But those early commitments or somebody that wants a future plan with you really quickly is a huge sign. Saying all the right things, and as cliche as that is, we fall for it all the time, especially when you divulge what you've had missing relationships before, what are you looking for in a partner, things like that. When you divulge that information too soon yourself, you're letting somebody know, okay, I know the things to say to make them like me. So be careful of that. And usually you can tell when somebody is saying all the right things. You can tell when somebody's kind of giving off a facade, when it's just always wow, they just seem so perfect. If somebody seems perfect for you early in the stages, and it's usually based off what they said, that is a clear sign. And also saying things like, we're soulmates, or you're somebody I just feel like I've never met before, and this is like fate has brought us together. Oh my God, I cannot believe that I went to the gym today and you were there, or I cannot believe I opened the app and you were the first person I swiped. It had to be fate. You're truly my soulmate. Stuff like that, y'all. Be careful. Be careful. That is a tall tale sign. Yet again, that is words. That is not actions. What makes you guys soulmates? What do you guys have in common? What have you done together for this person to show you that they will be with you through thick and thin for the rest of your life or whatever? So that is another clear sign. Ugh, I've had this happen, Lord, many times. Intense clinginess. If somebody just always wants to be around you, helicoptering you, even when you're just hanging out, they gotta be all up on you, holding you, always just being super clingy. That is a clear sign. When you wake up in the morning, they have to talk to you. Right at night, they have to talk to you. They're checking in throughout the day. Clinginess is and I think that kind of speaks for itself. That is a clear sign. And also overwhelming compliments and attention, constantly being told you're beautiful, constantly being told you're attractive, constantly being told you're just so smart, you're just so dope, I love everything about you, it's just so great. Oh, I love when you say things like that, I love when you do things like that. If it's just a constant overflow of that, that's honestly, I don't even see how that would feel sincere to someone when it's that constant, but that is a tall, clear sign. They're really trying to kind of get you mesmerized, get you hypnotized into this, oh my God, this person is always giving me affirmations, always making me feel good. No, be careful of that. Okay, gift bombing. So gift bombing. I think this is a huge issue in the gay community. I think this also is a huge issue from straight men to women. But when people are showering you with gifts and money and lavish things and paying for dinner and paying for this and getting you an apartment and getting you a car and whatever, really extreme, lavish, expensive gifts, or just always giving you things gift bombing, it's actually called gift bombing, is a tall tale sign that you're being love bombed. They're trying to use your love for material things or for resources to get you and for you to feel special. And I think this is something that a lot of queer people fall victim to, because a lot of us, unfortunately, are thrown out of our parents' homes, or our parents cut us off financially because we came out, or our parents just didn't support us in the way that we wanted to, especially when we're black and brown and queer, that we are already starting at behind the finish line, way behind. And those people can seek out that vulnerability and use it to their advantage by showering you with things and offering you things and offering you money. That's why I say you have to be careful of those big financial gaps. You have to be careful of those big age gaps, because that can be very easy. That can be a very easy way to mesmerize you and to get you into this situation. And I think what's very dangerous about gift bombing and financial bombing is that when they feel like they've given you money and given you resources, they really can use that to manipulate you and to mentally abuse you into making you stay in this, because I got you that apartment, I got you that car, I paid off your credit card, I've taken you to expensive meals, expensive vacations. How dare you try to leave me? How dare you try not to be by my side? How dare you tell me you don't love me? I show you I love you all the time. And that can be very scary, and that's where that ownership possessiveness comes into play. And I really do think somebody that gift bombs a lot financially, they think they own you in that relationship, and they're gonna use that to make you feel that way and gaslight you to make you feel bad if you don't no longer want this relationship. So I think gift bombing is a tall tale sign that you are being love bombed and that it can be an abusive or toxic relationship. Now don't get me wrong, I do think people out there in the goodness of their heart when they love someone, want to help them financially, want to pay off some debts, want to do things. But I still think that is something that should come over time. It should come slowly. It should come from a place of, I really see that you've been working hard in your schooling, and I know you have credit cards, and I know you're waiting on your student loans or whatever. But I just really can I offer you some help? You know, something like that. But it still needs to be a slow burn. This should not be something super early in the relationship that someone is doing. And if they are, you really have to question, what are their real intentions? What are their real intentions? Okay, next up, they're always excessively following your whereabouts. They're always constantly checking in. I'm worried, I'm just checking in. Where are you? What are you doing? I'm worried. Where have you been? I haven't heard from you. Oh my God, they're constantly doing that even when you're at work. Oh, just checking in, just making sure. That is a tall tale sign that something's off. And that already is abusive and a layer of way too much too soon, worrying about where you are at all times, who you're with, all those things. That is just toxic energy right then and there. So that is another sign. Obviously, ignoring your boundaries and criticizing you for calling them out or criticizing you for having expectations or not accepting their behavior, like I said before, that is a tall tale sign. You should be able to have boundaries in a relationship. You should be able to have expectations and be able to set those with a partner on how things should go within your relationship. You should not be criticized for that. Yes, you guys should be able to have discussions, talk about those things in a respectful manner, but you shouldn't be criticized and put down and told that you don't love me, or you don't really feel this relationship, or you're not here all in, because you have boundaries within and have certain expectations for how you want your relationship to go. This one, oh my God, they like you better when you're alone, or they only want to spend time or they only want you spending time with them alone, nobody else ever around, and that's when they love you, and that's when they want to start. That's where and that's the first step of them really trying to isolate you from your family and friends, take you from people that can support you, take you from people where if they had a conversation about this situation, they'd be like, you don't want to slow down, you don't want to pause a bit, are you sure about this? They want to ice those people out. So they want you to feel like you need to spend all your time with them, or that they don't want to be around you with other people, because other people will call out the buffoonery. Other people will see it and they will call it out. So when somebody they don't want other people around, they only like you when you're alone, that is not a good sign. And last one, and this was one I really feel like is a gem, and a lot of people don't think about, when someone complains about their ex being psycho or being crazy, or their ex was just so annoying and everything they did, the reason the relationship ended before was their ex. It was everything their ex did, and it was not them. They take no accountability. That is a tall tale sign. Why don't you have any responsibility in why the relationship didn't work out? Why do you have no responsibility on why why there was conflict or why there was issues? Why is it only your ex, and why is your ex always the crazy one? In all your past relationships, it's always the ex. That is a tall tale sign, and that's something even I'm really starting to look at when I'm dating people, the way they talk about their ex, the way they bring up their ex, and if they ever take accountability. In a relationship, it takes two people. In any type of relationship, any conflict you have, any issues you have, we all play a part. And if your partner cannot take accountability for the parts they play in that relationship, then they don't need to be in a relationship with you, because they're not going to take responsibility when they're in a relationship with you. And that's a clear sign of love bombing. They don't think that they're doing anything wrong. They're not doing anything wrong, and you do not want to date somebody like that. And honestly, y'all, overall, if you feel something is off, if you feel something is off kilter, if you feel like your intuition and your gut is telling you something, listen to it, y'all. Our gut, our intuition as humans is there for a reason. And when you are second guessing, is this moving too fast? Am I tripping? Oh my God, I really don't want to see them right now. Oh my God, he's been blowing up my phone. Listen to that. Listen to that. I know we all want love, we all want this gushy feeling, we all want this special feeling, but you shouldn't be second guessing, contradicting, wondering if things are moving too fast, and feeling like that you can't even express your feelings the way you want to because somebody is bombarding the relationship. If you are feeling like that, listen to it. And take a step back and pause and confront them with your feelings and own your feelings. Your feelings are your feelings. My therapist used to always say that. Your feelings and your thoughts behind your feelings. You always should know what your thoughts are behind your feelings, but your thoughts and your feelings are your feelings, and you get to own those feelings. Nobody gets to tell you how to feel. Nobody gets to tell you that you can't have those feelings. So if you're feeling that way, if you feel that things are going too fast, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel smothered, and you tell your partner that, and they tell you fuck your feelings basically, then that is a telltale sign you're being love bombed, and that is not the person for you. And you know when something feels off. We know when something feels wrong. And that's why I said earlier, love bombing is not just romantic partners. It's family, it's friends. I've had friends recently. I'm gone for a couple of friend days, get to know a friend. They're all texting me all the time, blah, blah, blah. Then I invite them to parties, or I invite them to this thing, or I give them something, or whatever. And now they go ghost. Or now, because they can't get what they want out of me, they're gone. And family does the same thing. A lot of people's parents come in their lives, exit their lives, show them love, buy them gifts, and whatever, and then exit out their life. Family does it too. So we need to, when we feel like something is off, call it out, confront it. You deserve to have boundaries in a relationship, in any relationship. And basically, my therapist used to call them pink flags. If you notice a pink flag, where you see a pink flag, there will be a red flag. Say it with me, y'all. Where you see a pink flag, there's gonna be a red flag. That's what my past therapist used to say when it came to dating, when it came to friends, when it comes to any type of relationship. When you notice that shit, peep it, call it out. And if that person can't hear you and work on that issue, then it's time to go. It's time to go. So guys, I hope you guys found this video insightful. I hope as you guys are dating out there, you guys take things slow and you really get to know partners, friends, new family members, whatever. Really make sure that you're taking that time to get to know someone. Like we said, love is a slow burn. It's a simmering fire. It is not a wildfire that's burning rapidly, okay? And as always, guys, do your best to stay safe, stay positive, and I will see you guys on the next video.